everything evolves. If it doesn't evolve and it doesn't change and it doesn't move, it's not alive.
Well,
It's not alive. And human design is a living thing.
welcome to Wild and Finally Fucking Free, the show for disruptors, rebels, and revolutionaries who know they're here to change the damn world. I'm Kylie Patchett, your voice and visibility catalyst, and here we dive into unapologetic truth, magnetic messaging, and visibility that actually feels good in your body, your bones, and your business. We share the stories of the out-of-the-box, neuro-sparkly, creative, witchy wild ones, rewriting how we live, love, learn, and lead. This isn't about being louder. It's about being rooted, resonant, and regulated so you can be real, raw, and ready to roar. If you're done contorting yourself to fit the mold and you're ready to own your voice, your power, and your place in the revolution, welcome home. Let's dive in. Welcome to another episode. This is another super juicy episode that we've split into two parts. This is with my beautiful, beautiful friend, Etai Nahary, who is not only an intuitive human design guide, but also a master of languages, of narrative storytelling and psychology, and the way that our internal landscape is so dictated by storytelling and the stories we tell ourselves, the stories that we've been told in our lives. So this is part one. Let's go.
Yay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I always start dancing, but this day particularly because I have my friend Etai Nahary here. Hello, Etai. How are you?
Hello, everybody. It's an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to be here. You have no idea.
We have been talking for at least half an hour before we even started recording because we together.
And that's just here in this space.
Exactly. We're like popcorn together. It's like, oh, and what about this? And what about this?
That's what happens when two neuro-sparkly brains come together, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Welcome.
Exactly. Do you know what? Also, you are the honorary first gentleman on the podcast in almost 4 years. So welcome, honorary first gentleman.
I'm completely honored and speechless, which doesn't happen to me very often, so enjoy it.
No, I'm so grateful. Our paths have crossed over a couple of times now, but most recently in you are, what are we calling you? Facilitator, assistant, teacher inside of the human design set?
There's never been a title for it, but I suppose I'm a teaching assistant.
I would like to say you are the person who answers everything because you are so passionate about human design that you cannot help yourself but get in there and get excited.
I'll take it. Let's leave the title up there, but if that's what occurs to you, I'll take it.
I love it. So this is inside of the beautiful Annalena Fuchs, who's been on the podcast, Intuitive Human Design Certification for teachers. And we have started chatting pretty much on the daily because our brains are so similar in so many ways. Like I am a big why learner, which we've just been discussing over the weekend, is like really understanding the foundations of things, as are you. We both need to talk things out. So this has been this wonderful friendship that's just been weaving in the last couple of months. So I'm so excited to have you here.
It's an honor.
Now, I actually want to talk a little bit about, like, we can't go into every single bit of your history, but
that's too bad.
Yeah, well, we could do a 5 hour.
Okay, well, we are going to talk about storytelling.
This is like always when I have a guest on, we talk about the golden threads that led them to where they are. So I know we're going to get to human design, but what fascinated me about the way that you've kind of arrived at this point in time is that, well, number one, you speak many different languages, which always makes my brain want to explode because I am hardly able to speak one.
You speak Australian English beautifully.
If that means I swear like a trucker, yes.
For somebody as acoustic as me, that's saying something. So please continue.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, we do have some horrible slang here. But anyway, and you also have studied psychology in many of its forms. So do you want to can we weave a bit of a golden thread of like, how did you end up in the world of human design through the gateways of language and spirituality and psychology So many things.
Right. So the problem is where to begin.
Yeah.
Because, no, I'm serious, because they, I never know where. Let's start this way. I was born in Israel
Yes.
in 1977. And 6 months after I was born, my parents started to notice that I wasn't hitting usual developmental milestones. I wasn't able to hold my head up. I wasn't able to roll over, to say nothing of sitting up, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
And I'm the firstborn of a Jewish family, so the firstborn of a Jewish family, particularly, all the expectations are there. Right? Everything is there, and the child isn't doing what this genius child needs to do.
Yeah.
And so they started to take me to all kinds of doctors, and doctors do in the Western medical profession, they do what they do, and they stretch and they twist and they shove and all that. At 6 months, and it took them until 18 months to finally diagnose me with spastic quadriplegic CP.
Yeah.
And at the time, so we immigrated to the United States, which is where I'm located presently.
Yeah.
2 months before my third birthday, with the belief, and I think I've told you this story or this part of the story in other spaces.
Yeah.
With the belief essentially that we would go there to the States and the doctors would do whatever magic it is that the doctors do, and I would then be cured, and we would then go back to Israel, and I would literally sprout wings and be able to fly. And I say this because my grandparents at the time built a house that was intended for us to come back and live in. And I swear to God, there were more stairs in that house than there were anything else. Now, I've been a wheelchair user for my entire life. Stairs and I don't get along. Never have, never will. But go tell that to my family of origin. So this is how we ended up in the States. So my first language is Hebrew.
Yeah.
Because that's the language that I heard first. That's the language that we spoke at home. That's the language that I still speak to my parents in.
Yeah.
Because it's unnatural to do anything other than that, right? But seeing as they came to the States when I was so young, English became a necessity. American English. I say American English because there are so many different types of English in the world, right? American English became a necessity. Children pick up languages very quickly. My mother was with me for about maybe a month before I completely, in nursery school or wherever it was, before I completely mastered it. English better than they did. So English and Hebrew are, technically Hebrew is my mother tongue.
Yes.
But I would also say that English is as well. And in my circles, because of my paternal grandparents on my father's side, my grandfather is German, and there's a whole family history that goes along with that, which is how I ended up studying German Jewish history for my bachelor's degree. On my mother's side, the Polish and Lithuanian and all this, and there was Yiddish in the home and so forth and so on. So I grew up, and for me, multilingualism, it became natural.
Yes.
I picked up Yiddish because I was sick and tired of not understanding what my grandparents were saying, so I began to just understand. And French was offered in school, so I took French. And then German, because of the family history, German came into the picture, etc., 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 etc.
So amazing.
I appreciate the fact that a lot of people find it miraculous that I can speak so many. For me, it's just
normal.
It's normal. It's the way I see the world. It's interesting because when I was younger, and I think I've told you this as well.
Yeah.
When I tried to fit in more than I do now, thank God I've stopped trying to do that quite as much. when I try to fit in more than I do now, because I'm sitting in a wheelchair and people have any number of assumptions that go along with sitting in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Most of which involve, when you see somebody sitting in a wheelchair, you expect them to drool at you
Yes.
and not be able to speak in complete sentences. So oftentimes I would meet people, especially when I was in school and more in my adult years.
Yeah.
I would meet people and I would say, hello, my name is Etai, and I have 3 advanced degrees, and I speak this, thus and such, however many languages I speak in that moment. And it would be fascinating to me, specifically the non-visual person,
Yes.
it would be fascinating to me. Their eyes would bug out and their jaws would drop to the floor, and then it would be this process of, and so as I introduced myself that way, I did it as a defense mechanism, basically to say, yes, I know you're looking at a wheelchair. I know what your assumption, but I belong here. God damn it!
Yeah. I belong here, and your story of me is not my story.
Right. And but as I said, I did that a lot before, and I've been doing inner work for as long as I can remember. I mean, physically, I can't do much for myself. I need assistance with activities of daily living. So my world has, for as long as I can remember, been internal.
Yeah.
I play with ideas, I play with stories, I play with, movies and books and all kinds of different things, philosophical systems. I originally wanted to be a rabbi at the age of 18.
Yeah.
And because I was raised Jewish, coming from Israel, the idea was when you go to the States, and Jewish education was important to my parents, what they understood as Israeli Jews is you go and you put the children in a Jewish educational system. They understood to mean Orthodox Jewish.
Yes. Yeah.
So from there, I got a very, very strong foundation and pull in traditional Judaism.
Yes.
I wanted very badly to be a rabbi. Very, very long and convoluted story, which maybe we can get into on another,
on one of our many episodes to come in the future.
But essentially, I was told, essentially because of ableism and because they were highly discriminatory, they said no. Now this is after I'd already done a degree in German Jewish history.
Yes.
It was basically an individualized major, which I took, and I see, and this is why it's so difficult to figure out where to do this and how to begin. When I was 12 in 1989,
yeah,
my paternal grandfather wrote a book.
Oh.
About, and this you don't know.
No, I don't.
I love the surprise on your face.
About our facet of the diamond.
Yes, about our family history.
Yeah.
And from 1649 until 1989. And I would go back and forth to Israel during that time on my own. During the summers, we would sit there and he would read to me from this book.
Yeah.
And I became absolutely fascinated.
Yeah.
With our family history and who goes where and who belongs what. And he said to me at the age of 12, he said, and I'll never forget this, he said, when I'm gone, this was in 1989, he said, and he died in 1992 of lymphoma. He says, when I'm gone, he says, all of this material, all of it is yours.
Yes.
I said, uh-huh.
No pressure, Etai.
And he said, you take this and you translate this from German into Hebrew and you continue this book.
Wow.
At the age of 12. So that explains to you all of a sudden why it I had this mission given to me by my paternal grandfather.
Yeah.
And that's how I added German to the whole process, because I already had Hebrew, English, Yiddish,
Yeah.
French, etc., etc., etc.
I don't have enough hands for you to count those languages.
We don't have enough digits. Okay? But that's how that's how my first degree came about. Because at the age of 18, the rabbin had told me no the first time. So I went and I said, what? I'm going to force the university, or any university, make it possible for me to publish this book. Hemming and hawing and hawing and hemming and hemming and hawing.
I can imagine.
And it turns out that, and I tried, and I stayed there for 8 years, and I did not only, and I had to make up that first major because it didn't exist. I made it up.
It does not surprise me knowing you.
And the first master's is in comparative literature, in post-Holocaust literature.
Wow.
Because I wanted to understand how it was that my grandfather, who left with his family at the age of 8, was chased out of Germany at the age of 8, and into Israel. In 1960, he came back. He came back with his wife and my father and my uncle. And I'm sitting there thinking, how in God's name, after a Holocaust,
Yeah.
the German Jew come? There's something about German. And so I did this comparative literature degree in order to try to understand this. Because I figured the literature must have something.
Yes.
If I read it, and there's plenty of post-Holocaust literature in both English and in Hebrew and in German, there's got to be some sort of. I never found the answer. At the end of that first master's, the idea of being a rabbi came back up. People in my friends' circle were saying, listen, shit or get off the pot.
Yeah. I love that saying.
They call me a rabbi, don't talk about it
Or just
anymore.
stop. Yep.
Stop talking. So and at the time I was in Connecticut on the East Coast of the United States.
Yeah.
And there was a seminary on the West Coast and this is where I experienced all the ableism, etc., which is another story, that accepted me for a preparatory year.
Wow.
And that preparatory year didn't work out at all well because of all the ableism, etc. Like I said, a whole other book. A whole other several books that I could write about this. So, and my fiance at the time, who was not my wife,
Yeah.
we found our way, and that was in Los Angeles, and then we found our way to the San Francisco Bay Area, where we lived with a friend of mine from my undergrad days for a few years. I dabbled in film script writing also.
Aspect I did not know.
You didn't know, right? And we found, or I found, or Lisa says that she found, and then I said, okay. Found me a program, right? Which is not proper English, but found me a program that was, and keep in mind, I've always been philosophically inclined, and I Buddhism and Kabbalah and all these things and the I Ching. I'm familiar with these things on my own for years.
Wow.
And eventually, I promise you, we'll get to human design.
This is a perfect example of golden threads leading you to where you meant to be.
And we'll get there, but every aspect of the human design chart.
Yes.
And this is part of why I was like, oh my God, it's all here. It's all here. The chakra system, right?
Yes.
The Kabbalah, the astrology. What am I missing? Quantum physics.
I Ching. Yep.
I Ching. Everything I had been fascinated with, energy, all the things that I'd been fascinated with came together. So I went and I found a program, or a program found me, for transpersonal counseling psychology.
So cool.
And I said, what? I'm not going to fly. I'm not going to sprout wings and fly. I've learned that that's not going to work. Sorry to my grandparents, and sorry to my parents, and they're just going to have to deal with it. The best thing for me to do is to sit here, and if people are coming to me anyway, and they're sharing anyway, they've been sharing with me things for years.
For your follow-up.
This is happening naturally. I might as well learn it
Yes.
and make money with this.
Yes.
And I did it, and it's a wonderful program. The program no longer exists, but I got the degree. And the idea was to become a licensed marriage and family therapist. And again, disability. The reason that didn't work primarily is because of accessibility issues and ableism. So I have a degree in counseling psychology. I never became licensed. We ended up in the middle of nowhere, South Dakota, which is where we are now. Again, a long story. In 2023 is when human design found me. And like everybody else, I was first introduced to it. And I guess we can forgive people for this, but I was first introduced to the tropical system.
Well, we've got to get there somehow.
So I got to human design the same way that everybody gets to human design. Now, less people, thank God. There's Annalena, there's me, there's you, there are certifications, there's AFM. So it's shifting, thank God.
Yeah.
Right? But at the time, I got to human design the way that most people did, through the tropical system. And in the tropical system, I find out that I'm a 6/3 manifesting generator. And what this means, and I'm looking at the chart, and oh my God, all the systems come together. Problem. I see myself in parts of it, and I'm supposed to, the generator types, are supposed to start making all kinds of,
Having the bodily sacral response, yes.
all kinds of, forgive me, black noises or something. And I don't have any black noises. I have words. I have thoughts. I have dreams. I play with ideas.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I have responses. And I'm sitting here as a disabled individual who doesn't know really what it's like to be in contact with the ground.
Yes.
We've talked about this too.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
I don't know what it's like to be embodied.
No.
Because most of my life, I'm sitting in a chair that is, I don't know how many meters up from the ground. Motorized chairs. I have no idea what the hell is ground. Come into your body.
Yeah.
Let me come into my body. First of all, my body, since I was very, very young, my body was something that was unacceptable.
Yeah.
My body was something that was wrong.
Yeah.
My body was something that didn't behave. My body was something that I needed to work against.
Yeah. That needed to be fixed or needed to be
That
pushed.
needed to be fixed or fought with or twisted or turned or pretzelized. How the fuck am I going to come into my body?
Yeah.
Who wants to understand? Who wants to be grounded in a body like this?
Well, and how do I do it when I have no reference point?
And how the hell do I do it?
Yeah.
And so, and I'm sitting there with this beautiful chart, manifesting generator, blah, 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 blah. And I'm supposed to, I don't get it.
Although, did you relate? What parts of your chart did you relate to at first? In the tropical system, I mean.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't. I remember. You have the 2145 in your chart as well. Right?
Yes.
But that's called the money line.
Yes.
And I remember, and I was told, and I looked at the genetic matrix thing that It's a money line. So what do you mean I have a money line? I have a no money line.
I have no response or no experience of this.
I don't money? What money? Show me the money. Bullshit money. So I remember having this sense of that's what the chart says, yes, and I was explained shadow, self and not self, and this later I found out that this is traditional human design and it has its place, etc., etc. Fine, good, wonderful.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, okay, I have a lot of inner work to do until I align to myself.
I think this happens too, though, because, and as we will get to, actually, first of all, I want to tie some threads together. I am fascinated. I love the fact that you took great delight in challenging the stories that people have of differently abled people. And we've talked at length about this.
I have to, otherwise I sit here and cry and never come out of my
That's
corner.
exactly right. Yes. And I admire your, I don't know, like it's almost like a quiet rebellion against the stories that people have of you. And I also acknowledge that that must get fucking exhausting. Like
it does. It does. And for me, and I don't know why this is the case, but I don't have a choice.
Yes.
I don't have a fucking choice. I wish I did. There was a time in my business where disability advocacy was more was more top of mind, was more what I was out there with. And I made a lot of videos and a lot of social media about the injustices, and all of this is true and all of this is important.
Yes.
And I can do it, and I got responses to it, and oh my God, and yes, I'm angry with you also, and you solidarity angry about it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And also, why should you have to advocate?
I'm a disability advocate by necessity.
Yes.
Because I'm sitting in this chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to teach people by necessity. I'm tired of teaching people by necessity.
Yes.
I want to share what I'm called to share. And it's not about whether or not how many stairs I can make in a go, or whether I can fly, or how I fish, or how I shit, or in what angle I set for my piss and shit. What I can eat, or how I can eat it, or when I can eat it.
We've had many conversations about that.
Right, yeah, but I mean, that is exhausting.
Yes.
Every time I go to a doctor, it's exhausting because I have to teach them. The first thing I ask doctors is when I meet a doctor.
Yes.
I ask them, how many patients have you had with CP?
Yeah.
And they look at me as if I fell from the moon.
Yep. And you go, oh, good. Strap yourself in.
Oh, good. Here we go.
Yeah.
And it's with every call. And it's exhausting. And it's not that I don't think it's important work. It's just not the work that I'm aligned to do.
Yes.
I'm not I would like to think I'm not running away from it. It's just, I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm exhausted with advocacy nonsense.
Sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you.
No,
what has been a great delight for me is I always, I'm one of those people that if I go to I don't know, I don't go to sport because it's not my thing, but if I watch the Olympics and I see someone achieve something they've been working towards, or if I go to see a concert and there's this amazing violinist, I get so much joy from seeing people doing what they're called to do.
Yeah.
Makes them feel good. And I am delighted every time you get to talk about human design, because I'm like, this man is on this earth to explain people's stories and energy through the lens of human design, because all of the different threads that you've just shared with us, like you said, you already knew all of these systems first, and then you find one thing that brings them all together.
And when I find this one chart that puts all of it together, I'm like, this exists?
Yes. Amazing.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Must have been like angels singing.
Yeah, tell me more. And people had to projectors generally speaking, we're not interested in ourselves.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, the general idea with projectors is we don't see ourselves, other people see us.
Yes.
People were telling me, this is what you're going to do.
Genius.
I said, well, yeah, I'm interested, but this is what this is what I'm going to do. And then what do I know?
Yeah, well, that's a normal projector thing, right?
Right. And that is also normal. Right? So then somehow or other, I float into Annalena's world.
Yeah.
And Annalena is this gorgeous soul on all fronts, very grounded, very calming, very peaceful. And she saw something.
Mm-hmm.
She saw my insatiable hunger for this material. She saw my asking questions, my wanting to know, my eagerness.
Yeah.
I was one of the first ones that asked her. There were other people also, but I was among one of them. I said, Annalena, when are you When are you offering your certification? I'm taking it. Okay, yeah. And so I was lucky enough to be in the first cohort.
Yeah.
You are now in the second cohort of Annalena's Human Design Guide and Teacher Certification.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my certification on. We're now speaking on the what's the date? On the
12th for you, 13th for me.
On the 12th, 13th of January, depending on what hemisphere you're in, which is another discussion.
That's another kettle of fish.
That we've been having and can have later publicly. But so I got my certification on the 16th of December of 2025. And since then, I've been in the process of changing over everything.
Yes.
And it's a process, and I have to learn to be patient and wait for divine timing. And it's an exercise for me. It's an exercise for me, but I needed somehow that external validation to allow me to start the process of changing things over from Etai's corner, which is what the I don't know what even to call this, the business was for. And now things are shifting into intuitivehumandesign.com.
I am so excited for this.
And I can be found as of today, and again, it's still shifting, but as of today, you can find me on Instagram at intuitivehd_guide. I think you can find me under that name on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
And on YouTube. Like I said, I had a whole bunch of videos there. I took them all down because they were unfocused, and they were me doing my 3-line of seeing what works and what doesn't work.
That's how you design. This is a good thing.
Right. This is
and
one of the
those links down below as well, so everyone can just
what is as of today still missing, and I would like to fucking solve this. Thank you very much. Is the website, which will come hell or high water, intuitivehumandesign.com.
So good.
And there I will offer, I offer readings of all kinds.
Yes.
I offer foundation readings. I don't like readings because for me, they're actually explorations. So I offer natal chart explorations. I offer connection chart explorations. I offer solar return explorations, Chiron returns, etc. So there's a whole slew of different chart explorations that we can do, and there's a whole slew of different ways in which we can use the human design chart as a tool, because that's what it is. It's primarily a storytelling tool. And one of the main reasons that I love human design is because I see it as a storytelling tool.
Yes.
And the real empowerment of the real power, the real magic in the chart is that, and here's the trick, traditional human design sees the types as rigid, as givens, as structures that cannot and will not ever be changed or moved or mutable or anything.
Yeah. which is what I call HD dogma.
We've had conversations about, we'll continue to have conversations about this. To each their own, whatever's aligned for you. We're not dogmatists here, either of us. But for me and for us, I would wager to say, we see things more fluidly, more flexibly. And Elena sees, and we also, and speaking for you, I see.
You can.
Well, thank you. We then see human design more as archetypes that we're working with. The manifestor archetype has certain things to teach us. The generator archetype has certain things to teach us. The projector archetype has certain things to teach us. The reflector archetype, and we all have the entire chart, and we all can feel, depending on the day, we can all feel more like any of the time. I'm a projector, according to the system. According to the true sidereal system, and I know you've talked about it here on the podcast.
I will link to. I'll link to 2 episodes that we've done that explains the differences. I know
I won't necessarily go into that, but according to true sidereal, and this is what I most resonate with because I feel like it reflects the essence, my soul, and what I'm really meant to do, and how I'm really meant to be and show up in the world.
Yes.
According to sidereal, to Athens, to the midpoint calculations, I'm a 3/6 splenic projector.
Yes.
With 2 complete channels, the 5720, which happens to be my favorite channel because the 57 happens to be my life work, which is all about intuition. The 20 is all about speaking in the now.
Yes.
But it's only when invited, by the way.
Yes.
And the only other complete channel that I have is the 1/8, which is the channel of inspiration. It's a channel. It's creativity. It's each voice, each gate in the throat has its own voice. The gate 8 has this wonderful voice of, "Hey, listen, I can contribute.
Yeah.
I contribute, and I contribute." The gate 8 says, "I contribute in my own unique way."
Yes.
So the 1/8 is all about uniqueness and unique contribution, but these are all invited. These are all, both of them are projected channels. Now, why do I often feel like a manifester?
Yes.
Because I have in my unconscious sun, my radiance, I have the 53, and the 53. God help me, the 53. The 53 is all, and I say God help me because the 53 is all about starting things. It's all about the pressure to start something.
Yes.
Problem is,
it's unconscious.
Well, there are several problems. Problem number 1, it's fucking unconscious. Problem number 2, what connects to the 53 is the 42. The 53 starts things, the 42 ends things. I have the energy to start. I can't finish. No, I can't. But I'm always looking to finish.
But this is a perfect example of the story of the chart, right? And I love how you because when I came across human design, it was tropical as well. And what I was really resistant to was I had a friend who was really into human design, and she's like, I'm a this and that means that. And it was just so boxed in. And my entire life and business has been about breaking open boxes, right? Of proving that we don't need them.
Which is one of the reasons we've come together, and one of the reasons we have so much fun.
Exactly.
That's what both of us are about, just in our own unique ways. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like, to me, it's so wild that like I used to be a geneticist, and then I come across a system that is the science of differentiation or individuation, whereas society wants to make us all homogenous so that we fit into a box so that we can be a particular cog in the industrial machine. That's a whole other conversation.
It's easier for society, but we don't fit that.
Well, we're easier to manipulate and control.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the way that you just explained the 53 and the 42, this is a perfect example of, rather than Because I'm not against readings either, but I think the problem when people get like a report or a reading that says, if you just got something that says you are a 3/6 projector and you've got a certain, splenic authority and you've got these channels.
This channel and this channel and here is open and that's open and
Yeah.
what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't
First of
mean
all,
anything. And what people tend to do is like go and look at ChatGPT or look at the many, many, many numerous articles that you can find. But the problem is without understanding the story that the chart is telling, you don't get the nuance that you just shared.
and the context.
Yes, and the
right?
context.
And it's and that's the thing, is it and that's the one thing you'll hear me say is, and I think I've said it here once before.
Yeah.
Every chart, any given chart, your chart, my chart, you can even do a chart for your puppies.
Yes. Never thought to do that.
You should. It's possible. It's possible with genetic matrix. But every chart has the potential to tell an infinite number of stories.
Yes.
And why is it that stories are so? Why have stories captured me so much?
Yeah.
Because first of all, that's all I could really do. I could sit since I was young and watch movies and read books and listen to things and listen to my grandfather tell me stories about the family and listen.
Yes.
I quickly understood somehow on some level that we are a product. We are the causes and conditions that make this moment. It's all about the stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves and about the world in which we live. And the only thing that I have control over, especially sitting here in this chair,
Yes.
the only thing that I have control over is the story I tell myself about this moment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you take that, and if you take the fact that in counseling psychology, I learned, and I promised you we talk about this, and here comes the narrative therapy.
Yes.
I cover things. It just takes a while. So thank you for your patience. And take narrative therapy that says, okay, this is the story you're telling yourself now, or here are the events, and here are how you feel about them, and together this makes a story. Let's try and imagine. One of the most wonderful tools of narrative therapy is the what if question.
Yes.
What if? I want to take a wild example because I brought it here before.
Yeah.
What if Etai was brought at the age of 3, essentially, to the United States, and there was some kind of a miracle cure, and some of the medicine he was given allowed him to sprout wings, and then the child would fly back. What if? And this what if game is, and so that's a little bit of a strange example. It's a little bit extreme, but for entertainment purposes, right? But a what if game of, okay, people have self-esteem issues. People have self-worth issues. We imagine for a moment a version of ourselves, a story in which where it doesn't necessarily flip a switch completely, but where we just spend a little less time beating ourselves up.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. And the chart really allows us to do that.
Yeah, it's such a big permission slip.
The chart gives us a permission slip.
Yeah.
Look, a chart, and I have to say this too, a chart of any kind, an astrology chart, a human design chart, all of these things, all of these tools, they are not under any circumstances in any universe to be used as prescriptive tools.
No, they're not rules, people.
These are not prescriptions. These are tools. And it's all about how do we use the tool. A hammer can be used, God forbid, to bash somebody's brains in.
Yes.
And you've seen that, I know, in your
Yes,
work.
in my past life, yes.
In a past life.
Yeah.
And it can also be used to build houses and build. A hammer can be used to create. A hammer can be, but it's still a hammer.
That's such a good analogy, Etai.
A hammer is a hammer. How do we use the hammer makes a difference.
Yes. And just to follow that through, what I see in human design when we're talking about dogma is the hammer is used, or the chart is used, to whack oneself with or make
In-
ourselves wrong.
In most cases, yes. In most cases, traditional, yeah. And I mean, that had its place. Look, when Ra first brought human design to us,
Yes.
and Ra admitted this, he said, "Look, I'm here to shock people.
Yep. Wake people
I
up.
mean, I'm here to wake people up." He had the 51 prominently placed in his tropical chart, which is another topic altogether.
Yes.
But his story was, I'm a splenic manifester with the 51 prominently placed. I'm going to wake you up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shock you. And I have to use this shocking language so I can wake everybody the fuck up.
Yep.
Because we're running out of time and there will be this 2027 shift and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
So of course it had to come first through the shocking medium, through the shocking element. And since then, there has been Ra, and there has been Karen Curry Parker, and there has been any number of different filters, and
Yes.
each teacher and each reading is a filter
Yes.
of the material, right? And there have been endless, thank God, filters of people looking at chart. And Karen Curry Parker had such a strong aversion to the language
Yes.
of original human design. She said, "What?
I can't do it.
I'm going and I'm making my own language."
100%.
And and out of this came the quantum human design.
Yes.
And Annalena learned from Karen,
Yeah.
and then taught us. So we are in that lineage, right? And so that's, I don't know where I was going with this, but
It's the evolution of human design.
Everything evolves. If it doesn't evolve and it doesn't change and it doesn't move, it's not alive.
Well,
It's not alive. And human design is a living thing.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode. If this episode lit a fire in your body, in your business, deep down in your bones, please take a moment to drop a rating and review so more rebels just like you can find us. And don't keep this goodness to yourself. Share it with your disruptor, rebel, and revolutionary friends who are ready to roar right alongside of you. Until next time, stay wild, stay unapologetic, and stay fucking free.